Hey guys, Paul here, and I'm wanting to kick off a brand new series, and it's called Limited Edition. Have you ever got anything limited edition? I remember getting these trainers, and they were my first ever pair of Yeezy 350s. I remember being in the gym running on the treadmill as I was waiting in the queue online to get them. Now, if it weren't the first time I'd been in this position, it'd been close a few times before, you see, with a different pair of trainers. And I got them in the basket previously, and as I was about to buy them, they would then say that they were sold out. But on this day, I became the proud owner of my first pair of Yeezy 350s. And they were limited edition. A limited edition is something that is special, it's one of a kind, or it doesn't come out very often, or there was a limited number of them. And I don't know about you, but I think there's something awesome about something being limited edition. Whether it's a type of Fanta, a limited time of chocolate bars out, or trainers. Knowing that they are a limited edition makes me more interested in them. Chances you've heard someone use the phrase, you are unique or you are special. And that's true. There's no one else quite like you on planet Earth. And that's something awesome. About knowing that there's no one else like you. But it can also be this strange feeling. It can be a little daunting to also realise that too. And sometimes we can love being different, and sometimes we can just hate it and we wish we just fitted in. And maybe you like anime, or maybe some of you don't. Or maybe you could be the tallest in your class and you feel like you stand out. Or maybe you just hate being the smallest. Maybe your voice is currently changing and other people think that's funny. Others, you might be just still trying to figure out who you are, while others already seem to know. And there's something that makes you special and unique and different. And for whatever reason, that can be the reason you don't feel like you fit in. And sometimes it can feel like you either fit in or you don't. Like there's no in between. And that seems even more true in high school, doesn't it? Some of you would love to fit in at school with that group, or even at youth, or even at home at times. And others of you feel the opposite. You want to stand out, because you feel like you're not noticed, and you want to not be the same as everybody else. And maybe you want it both ways. We want to be able to fit in for the reasons we stand out. So where does that leave us? Well, I want us to check out a story in the Bible, and we find it in Genesis. And Genesis is right at the beginning of the Bible, and it's where we read about creation and Adam and Eve. And as we read this story that is thousands of years old, I believe it can help us today as we think about this experience we may or may not have. And as we read the creation story, it explains how God created the heavens and the earth, the stars and the sun, the animals, and as he does, he says everything is good. It came to creating the final part of his creation, and this is what it says. Then God said, let us make humanity in our image, to resemble us, so that they may take charge of the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, and all the earth, and all the crawling things on the earth. After creating everything in the world, all the trees, plants and animals, God was still missing that last part of it, which was us. He didn't just create us, he created us differently to everything else, and this is what it says. God created humanity in God's own image. In the divine image, God created them. Male and female, God created them. Adam and Eve, the first humans, already unique, but God created them in his image. It means that God created humans and made humans to reflect God to the rest of creation. It means we were created with value apart from everything else. And do you know what? So are you, and so am I. And Adam and Eve were the first humans, but all of us being human are created in God's image. We are all limited editions. We have different characteristics and qualities that are like God, and that makes us a limited edition. And let me explain it like this. These are my parents, and I have characteristics of both of them. And even though at times you don't want to be anything like your parents, we learn characteristics from them. We inherit our looks from them, and we can even be like them. For me, I frown like my mum, and I stand like my dad. Which is funny enough, there's a picture actually of my parents' wedding, of my granddad standing there just like this. And it's something my dad took from his dad, and it's something actually at times that I can do myself. And we learn and we inherit things from our parents, and this is similar to God too. We are made in His image, and there are characteristics and qualities that help us reflect and show what God is like to others. God didn't just say this was good. No, this is what He said. God saw everything He made and it was supremely good. Supremely good, or another way to say that is extremely good. And here's what I want you to remember today. We are limited editions. We are made in God's image. This means we are to show creation what God is like. And we don't always get this right. But Jesus showed us how to do this perfectly, what it was to mean to live a life just like God. And we get to live in relationship with God as we steward and look after His creation. And I think there's something we should celebrate. We should be happy to be able to do this because we are limited editions. We can sometimes obsess about feeling different, and that there's nothing special about us. Both these feelings can mean that we can miss out on the amazing things about being created as a limited edition. We can become scared and anxious and insecure and trying to hide who we are. But remember, as God's creation, we are limited editions. That alone gives us value. We don't have to do anything or be anyone for God to love us, accept and value us. So the next time you struggle to remember the way you are limited editions, try one of these. The first one is replace your thoughts with the truth of Scripture. Maybe you just need to reread Genesis 1:26 through 31 to start to help you think about this. The second is reach out to a trusted friend or adult who will remind you about what's true about you. Number 3, why don't you just talk about God, about how you feel? Ask God to help you to believe the truth about yourself. And number 4, maybe you should just write down that I am a limited edition somewhere so you can see it, so you're reminded of it. Because when you believe that you are and everyone else on earth are made in the image of God, it changes how you see everyone, including yourself. So remember, we are limited editions.